Hi, this is Cassandra from Homeschool Peace. Today I'm sharing with you the Mardel, a simple plan homeschool planner for this upcoming school year. In this video today, I'm going to be giving you my pros and cons, as well as giving you a flip through of the new look and feel. If you frequently visit my channel, you probably already know that I use the Mardel, a simple plan, as our homeschool planner. For this upcoming school year, it'll actually be our 5th year using this book. And if you're interested in a very detailed walkthrough of how I break down this planner for each of my students and what I do for each of the subjects as well as days and how I break that out for the whole entire school year, I have a video that's linked below that goes through this current school year's planner. So go check that out if you're really interested in how I use the planner. In today's video, I'm going to be doing more of an overall pros and cons of just using the Mardel book now that we've used it for so many years. So let's go ahead and jump into the pros and cons. The first thing I just want to talk about is construction of the actual book. The cover, so the front and the back cover, are made up of a very thick cardstock that is coated, and it's very durable. I've never had the cover rip or tear on me. It has also not popped out from the actual binding. When I open up the cover in the inside, both on the front as well as the back, has a pocket. I love having this pocket just to put extra things. When you open up the book, each of the months has their own individual tab. So it starts with general information and planning, but then it starts with July of 2022 and goes through June of 2023. So this much of the book is simply just your monthly planning pages and for your weekly sheets as well. And each month though has then its own tab. On these tabs, I've never had like the tab rip. The pages themselves have not ripped on me, as well as nothing has come out of the actual binding. So I feel like the construction of these pages has been really great. I also love that the book can lay flat. So if I'm looking at a particular week, I like that I can, because of the coil binding, I can lay it flat like this and just work on one side at a time. So now going into some cons about the construction, and this is my number one con that I have about a simple plan altogether, is this coil at the top. It's made of like a plastic material, and for some reason, I don't know, it could just be me, but every single year that I've used this book, the top coil, it's supposed to be bent and come around, this top ring, for some reason, I break it every single year I've had the book. So again, this is my 5th year, so for 4 years straight, I break the top ring. And again, it could be just something that I'm doing, but I do feel like it should hold up a little bit better, and it still works. So this is my current year, and I can still like open it, and I can still lay it flat, and it still works fine. It just sort of annoys you a little bit just having that broken up at the very top. But you can see it broke here. This is that even the year before, and it's broken here as well. So if anything, I wish that this coil was something different or more durable, or maybe it was even made out of metal instead, just so that maybe it wouldn't break right at this top ring. But it doesn't really change the function of the book. I just don't like having it broken at the very top of it. The last thing with construction that could possibly be a con for you is the total weight of the book. It's quite hefty and it's just large. It has all your students and material in one, which is a plus, but it does make the book quite large. If you're a family that's on the go, or maybe you do your schooling on the road, this could be a little bulky for you. If you're at home in a home setting, you probably are fine with it, but just something to consider. It is a little bit of a heavier book. The next thing I want to just talk about is organization. I love that all 3 of my kids are in the same exact planner. I'm not looking for different planners for each student. It's all in one. This can actually hold up to 6 kids. And the number one section that I love is what's called the planning section. This is where I spend a lot of my time over the summer planning out my upcoming school year. In the planning section, there is a page for each of your students. Like I said, up to 6 kids. You can write their name at the top. You can put whatever subject subjects you'll be teaching them that year, along with the curriculum that you're going to be using. I love these yearly overview pages. There's 6 of them for each student, and you can write out your subject that you'll be doing with your student, and it takes a look at what do you need to do for each quarter. So 4 quarters, 36 weeks. You can lay out your curriculum for the year and say, what do I need to do each week with my student to be able to complete our curriculum for that subject by week 36. And I love viewing things like this. This is what I like to plug in that curriculum, be able to see that big picture, and then I use this information whenever I go into each of the months. For the months view, I do enjoy these weekly layouts. This is my daily view that I see. I go right to the date for the day. I go right to the subjects. There's 6 of them that can run down the side, and I list out what my kids are supposed to be doing every single day, checking out that planning section. That's how I sort of fill this out. And I do love being able to just really organize that information for the day. Going into some cons of organization. My number 1 con is probably this note section on the side. I mean, it's nice to have an area to write notes, but really what I wish this was is Saturday and Sunday. I sometimes do schoolwork with my kids on a Saturday or Sunday, or we do an extra, field trip or something that I want to put the information down, and I don't really have that. I do sometimes draw a line through this, and we'll write Saturday, Sunday up at the top, and also write the information and sort of use that notes column, but I would love to see this spread to be a 7-day spread, because I do know that there's a lot of families out there that go and have school different times of the week, and it might work out better to have 7 days. The other thing to point out that I don't really use is this front area. For each of the months, there's sort of this overview that goes things to accomplish, special activities, websites, prayer requests and answers, reading lists, and supplies needed. Then you flip it over and it's the full calendar view. Even though at the beginning of the school year, I have this idea that I'm going to use this, by the time I get towards the middle or end of the school year, I'm not using this section. So it's not something that I think that they need to remove, and it might be something that you might like using, but it's something I don't use, and probably I could remove it from the book and make my book a little lighter. The last thing I wanted to point out is at the very end is student records. Now in student records, there's this page for the attendance tracker. This is something I do love having in the book. This is a pro for me. I live in a state where I do have to record how many days of school that we go throughout the year. And so this is my page I definitely reference a lot, and that might be something that's important to you, and I'm glad that's in it. The other things that are in this section, like in the extras, like grading charts or recording other things with curriculum, I use a little bit. I don't use that much, but I definitely find my go-to is using that planning section as well as this weekly spread. And I honestly am not quite sure how I would organize my school days without having this book. So it has worked out really great. Even though there's a couple little cons, they're not to the point that I wouldn't want to not use this book. I definitely love using the Mardel planner. The last thing I just want to talk about is revisions. Over the years, there has not been a lot of changes. I actually like that. That's a big bonus for me. I don't really want to learn to use a new planner, so I like to open it and know that the planning section is the same and my calendar days are the same, and I know exactly how to navigate my book. So if you are currently using this planner, just know that when you get the new planner for the year, it's going to look about the same, and I do like that. Over the years, I have seen some small changes, like maybe a title of a category, but nothing major has been moved or changed in the books. One of the fun things is the themes. So, a couple years ago we had like the shiplap theme. This current year we have this like potted plant look, and this new one has more of the modern images, which is fun too. So I'm going to now just go ahead and flip through this just so you can get a chance to see some close-ups of just what does the graphics and images look like in this book. I hope you enjoyed going through this planner, getting those pros and cons. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those below. And if you did want to see the more detailed walkthrough of how I use this planner, check out the other video I do have linked below. Before you leave, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.